All right, so I'm making a quick video on running the second half of the front door handle harness. This is on a crew cab. So I already have a video on showing you how to run once you have the actual door handle in, and then you have it connected, how to run the wiring inside the door, right? So I already have a video on that. So then, right, you have your other end of the wire here. The second half of the wiring runs from the connector to the front of the inner panel, and they'll match up to this other half of the harness. So there's already show a link to a video to remove this door panel. It's pretty simple. You know, once you disconnect it here, you can see these little like T-clips. They hold this rubber in place. So like if you kind of push down on it, you can pull out the bottom and then pull up, and you pop this out. It gives you a little bit of room, because the piece that goes here is held in. I don't know if you can see. Right here, and there's another one down here. They're like T20 Torx bits. So you unbolt those, and then you can pop this piece off, and that has all the wiring that runs into the door. And once you have that off, you pop the whole panel off, and you can do the rest of it from just sitting it on the bench, right? So here you go, is what I'm talking about, right? So here's the wiring that runs in. This is the piece I was just talking about that's held in with the T20 Torx bits, one at the top, one at the bottom. Sorry, it goes like that. So you pop that out, and then while you have this on, on the bench or something, there's usually some wrap on this. You have to unwrap this end, and you can pop this white piece out of place. So it's kind of hooked on this end and this end, and then right into here. So you can pry these out and pop this piece off. It makes it a lot easier to deal with running the wiring. Your boot is already going to be pulled back from when you disconnected the connector. The only other thing, right, so once you have this out of the way, you're going to be able to, what I typically do is I'll run a coat hanger. I'll run it this way, and then I'll tape the terminal ends here, and then I'll pull them through the boot this way, and then untape them so my terminal ends are here. The hardest part about this is having to actually disconnect the connector, because this plastic housing is kind of in the way. And again, I have videos on how to do that, how to disconnect the connector. It's basically these tabs here on the sides. They have to kind of go out and push them down, and then that'll push this red piece up and out. Once it's disconnected, then you can pin the two terminal ends in. You can kind of put this piece back together, and then, like I said, you're going to have your wiring here. Typically I'll reinstall the door, and then you can kind of just tape this wiring, come across, just tape it to the existing wiring, and then you're going to connect your terminal end to the other door wiring, which once this panel is on, you want it to pop out of this little window here. And you see this little spot right here, that's perfect for the wiring, right? So you have the wiring come out, tuck it in here, and then when you drop your panel back on, the wiring can come out, and then you take that end of the wiring, connect it to this end of the wiring, and that'll complete the front door handle wiring. Reinstall everything, and just like I said, as long as you make sure you match up your wires correctly in the correct positions, right? So I believe it's like a green and pink or a green and red wiring, depending on which harness you get from me. You just make sure you match up the green to green on both sides, from the internal inner cab harness to the door harness. As long as everything matches up correctly, should be good.